What we're going to do in this video is multiply the numbers 352 and 481. And we're going to do it in two different ways, but realize that the underlying ideas are the same. So first, let's just appreciate that 352 can be rewritten as 300 plus 50 plus 2, or we could think of it as 2 plus 50 plus 300. Plus 300. You add these three numbers together, you're going to have 352. And same idea, 481, that's 4 hundreds, plus 8 tens, which is 80, so plus 80, and then we have 1, so plus 1. And you might be familiar with multiplying like this in the past, setting up this grid. And it's essentially we're applying the distributive property. We're going to take the 2 and multiply it times 400 plus 80 plus 1. So we're going to multiply 2 times each of those numbers. And actually, let me just draw some quick lines here. So we have that. And then we'll have, let me do it like this. Then we have this. And then let me set up my grid. I'm having trouble drawing straight lines. Okay, there we go. And then one more in this direction. There you go. And then in this direction, let me draw some horizontal lines to have a neat, clean grid here. There we go. Now, first we'll multiply 2 times 400 plus 80 plus 1. So 2 times 400 is 800. 2 times, I'm doing that same blue color. So this is 800. 2 times 80 is 160, and then 2 times 1 is 2. And then we can multiply 50 times these. So what's 50 times 400? Well, 5 times 4 is 20, and then we have another 1, 2, 3 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, so that's 20,000. 50 times 80, 5 times 8 is 40, and then we have 2 zeros, just like that. And then we have 50 times 1, which is, of course, going to be equal to 50. And then we go to the 300, which we will distribute and multiply times each of these numbers. 300 times 400, 3 times 4 is 12. And then we have 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. We get 120,000. 300 times 80, 3 times 8 is 24. And then we have 1, 2, 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. So we get 24,000. And then 300 times 1 is, of course, equal to 300. And then what we want to do is add up all of these numbers. So let's actually add up the rows first. So if we add up the rows, let me draw another line going straight down like that. And so if we sum this up, this is going to be 962. 800 plus 160 is 960 plus 2. So this is 962. This right over here is 24,050. 24,050. And then this right over here is what, 144,300? 144,300. 120,000 plus 24,000 is 144,000 plus 300. There you have it. And then you would add up these numbers just like that to get your final answer. And I'm going to hold off doing that for a second as we see the other way of multiplying these numbers. So the other way of doing it, we could have said 481, and this is sometimes called the standard algorithm, 481 times 350, we do the same colors, 352. And in the standard algorithm, the way that we do it is we start with this 2 in the ones place, and then we multiply it times 481. So 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 8 is 16. So we put the 6 here, and then sometimes we'll say we'll carry the 1. We're really regrouping that as a hundreds. That's 10 tens, which is a hundreds. And then 2 times 4 is 8, which is really 800, plus 1, so that's 9, or really 900. Do you see a pattern here? This 962 is the exact same thing as that 962 right over there. Why? Well, because we multiplied the 200 times the 1 times the 80 times the 400. We saw that over here, and then we just added them all together to be 962. That's all the standard algorithm did just now. And then we move over to the 5. But this is really 5 tens, or 50, And that's why in the standard algorithm, we put a 0 here before saying, all right, what's 5 times 1? It's 5. What's 5 times 8? It is 40. We regroup the 4. Let's delete this from before. What's 5 times 4? Well, that's 20. Plus 4 is 24. Notice, 24,050. That's exactly what we had over here. And it makes sense because we're taking a 50 and we're multiplying it times 481, which is exactly what we did right over there. And so you might guess what's going to happen when we take this 3 and we multiply it times 481. That's really a 300 times 481. Let me delete that so I don't get confused. So because it's a 300 in the standard algorithm, we put 2 zeros here first. So when I say algorithm, it just means a method of doing something. And so we'll say 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 8 is 24. And then 3 times 4 is 12 plus 2 is 14. And so notice, I have 144,300. And the standard way of doing it at this point, we just add them all up. So whether we're doing it here or here, we just add everything up. So 2 plus 0 is 2. 6 plus 5 is 11. Regroup that 1. So 1 plus 9 plus 3 is 13. And then 1 plus 4 is 9. 2 plus 4 is 6. And then we have a 1 right over there. So we get 169,312. And so when you just learn this method, the standard algorithm, some people might call it, it might seem like, hey, this just seemed like a little bit of a magic. But all you're doing is you're going to each of these places and you're distributing it. You're multiplying it times 400 plus 80 plus 1 to get this. Then you're multiplying 50 times 400 plus 80 plus 1. And then 300 times 400 plus 80 plus 1. Exactly what we did right over here.